All right, everyone, welcome back to the Forging Theories live stream. Got some familiar faces here. Harry, Fabian, Mr. Jalapeno. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good as always.
It's going.
I hope everyone had a good holiday. To really kick it off, I kind of go from like Halloween through New Year's. And my family, we have tons of birthdays in November, so it's like literally there's something every single week. But you know what? We got some good stuff this week. We got some more new content. We have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. We have some new news. And then we are going to get into 2023 movies, Marvel and DC. Are they going to be a hit? Are they going to be a miss? Some of our answers might surprise you. Some might be what you guys think. We might not have any answers at all because these projects may or may not exist. Cough, cough, DC. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We're going to kick it off for this hour live stream. Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Mr. Jalapeno, what'd you think of it?
I didn't mind it, bro. But this was the first, like, as soon as it was over, I was like, bro, more is not more. That's how I felt. More is not namor, bro. There's only one namor out there, and that's it. And you know what? I think for me, dude, it's just like I don't really find the Guardians' humor to be funny. It feels very forced in some cases. Kind of like some people would argue that Thor feels like that, but like for instance, I was watching it with Natalie, and she was like, "This is annoying," and she fell asleep. So it's like maybe that kind of put like a distaste in my mouth because I can tell she's not enjoying it, and I'm like trying to force her to watch it. But I mean, I like the whole kind of story of Christmas and bringing the family together and everything, but the jokes and stuff like that to me didn't hit. The best part for me was when Rocket got Bucky's arm. I was like, "Yo, that was crazy." That was crazy. I need that mounted on my wall, bro.
That was cool.
That was
I
a
did
cool
like
little
that.
nod to Infinity War. I love that.
Go ahead.
So I know I have this reputation for like pretty much loving like almost everything that they've ever put out, but I really was not feeling this.
Let's go.
I really was just like, if this was like just if I bought Guardians 2 and it came with it, I wouldn't be too upset. Like if I look at it that way, like if it was just like a bonus feature on a disc. But like this, first of all, that song at the beginning did not do it for me.
Oh, the old 97s didn't do it for you?
Oh my god!
That's when my wife fell asleep.
The musical number with all the aliens that just learned how to play the guitar and made a Christmas number. It was cringe to me. Like I literally cringed. I couldn't take it. And which is ironic because Chris Pratt played a character that did almost the same stuff in Parks and Rec. So it was like it was being done to him now. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Parks and Rec, but there's a couple little things that I like. I mean, I liked Kevin Bacon's inclusion. I liked what he basically meant to Peter, but like, I don't know. I guess it's just fun. I don't want to ruin anybody's fun, but I just wasn't. It did nothing for me really. Like I didn't laugh like I usually would with those characters, and I don't know. It just felt like I saw a different version of those characters. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's so short that it's just like, should I really get that upset about it? Like I should just move on with my life.
Harry?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm in the minority here. I liked it.
Bro, we're split 50-50, man. I'm with you. I'm with you in the pool. I liked it.
I loved all the nods to the previous movies. I loved, like it was mentioned. I love the nod to Infinity War with Bucky's arm. I love the fact that Mantis is Bucky's kind of half sister.
That I did like.
The only thing that I didn't really like is there was no nod or mention of Gamora. None.
Well, they said that he missed Gamora, but that was it.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I think it was
I mean, I
Rogue.
believe
Mantis,
you.
in
Like,
the
very
beginning,
subtly
in
at
the
the beginning.
beginning, Mantis says, he's been depressed since, losing Gamora or whatever. But
Okay.
that was it.
I'll have to go back and rewatch it, but I guess I needed some more, like maybe I wish he would have been really sad because of her, because I mean at the end of Endgame, he was devastated because this is a whole other Gamora. This is not his Gamora. So that's my only bad thing about this holiday special. So yeah, I really liked it. I loved the cheesy little music number they did at the. I love Groot. Oh my gosh, I love Groot.
Swole.
Bro, Swole Nation, dude. That's the one thing this man's been putting in OT.
I will say so. Obviously, Mark Ruffalo, he's in like a onesie, and so that's how he plays the Hulk, right? I'm wondering if that's how Vin Diesel played Groot this time, because he's human form now, like as far as size.
I don't know if Vin Diesel does he do the motion capture for Groot? I don't know if he does. I think
You're
guys are
muted, Fabian.
You both are.
Sorry, I was saying I don't think so because all I've ever seen him do is the recordings in all the different languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry. I don't know if he does. I don't know if he does. So,
It wouldn't
He
shock
looks
me.
like he's under there, bro. He's looking like he's under there. At least in this one.
he pulls up in a Charger next time they're on Earth, and he's just like,
Yeah, this is
"Go.
for
Let's
family."
ride."
This is family.
Dude, I liked it. I did. I really had no reason not to like it, knowing that there was no villain in it, knowing that we have a gap, knowing that it was a holiday special. I'm someone who will set up my Christmas stuff before, like, weeks.
Does this
in
come
advance.
after Thor? I assume.
Yeah, probably after Thor.
It's a good question.
Because we saw in Thor: Love and Thunder, that Groot wasn't this Groot. He was still small, so I'm assuming he got
Yeah,
bigger.
good-
Yeah, that's a great
good
point.
evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where it slots in. Yeah, right after. So,
How fast does Groot grow, bro? That's a real question.
He's growing a lot quicker. That's for sure.
Hey, there's the dude.
But watching I Am Groot, you see how quickly he can go.
All right, here, wait. Audio.
Yeah, this is so it goes Miss Marvel, Thor, Werewolf by Night, and then Guardians Holiday Special. We have Isaac joining. What's going on, Isaac?
So Isaac, real quick, did you like or not like the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
I don't know if he's connected.
Oh, he sent a message. He
Yeah.
doesn't hear us, his headphones, so he's got to go fix it.
All right, while he's getting warmed up here. So this kind of like aligns with everything that we've kind of been talking about, of like the more is more. What does the timeline look like? What time are we spending? I really had no reason to not like this. Like, I personally didn't think it was a waste of time. I thought the humor was subtle. I loved Mantis. In this. We got to see her in a completely different way. And, for her, that was a highlight. Drax was still Drax, but I just thought it was cool. I thought Mantis was really funny throughout. I thought it was like a nice little nod to like what's been going on to tie in with the special. And we got some furthering of characters.
There you go. I hear you guys now.
There we go. So we can get in that. Isaac, did you watch the Guardians Holiday Special?
Yes. Yeah, I got a chance to watch
What'd
that.
you think?
I liked it. I thought it was like obviously I didn't take it seriously, but I thought something like nice and cute, like just to like something kind of different from Marvel almost. Like we don't really get like the holiday things. It's just typically just stuff that's going on right now, or stuff like a story that they're focusing on. So I kind of like the little bit of a different feel that it had.
Yeah, man.
So one random thing that I noticed is that, like, me, at least not to speak for you, Elias, but
Speak
feel
for
like
me, brother.
we're the ones that kind of defend Love and Thunder, and that one has some of the goofiest humor ever, and we don't
Mhm.
like this for some reason.
Huh.
And you guys like the Guardian special with its ridiculous humor,
Mhm.
but I don't think you guys like Thor.
To be fair, I did like Thor's humor. I thought the story wasn't that great, but I thought it was funny. I was laughing the whole time in the theater, like legitimately LOLing out loud.
I-
But
I liked the humor, but there was just too much of it.
Mm.
if
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I feel like the Guardians, like I don't like for lack of better words, like idiotic humor. Like when they're going to Kevin Bacon's house and Drax is like, I want to go back and get the elf. Like that to me, it's like, bro, come on. You're supposed to be a guardian of the galaxy, dude. Like you're really about to risk the galaxy for a
But
inflatable elf.
that's the
Like,
funny
that's
part
the
about
stuff-
the character, though. Like every character
Yeah.
isn't like they're not robotic, you know. Like that's part of who Drax is. Like Drax
and I
makes
don't know.
dumb
Maybe
things,
that's like the Drax character himself that I'm not into, but it gives me like Peacemaker vibes. Like some of the jokes are just kind of cringe. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm good. Like literally the only time I laughed I can think of was when Rocket received Bucky's arm. I was like, that's funny.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And the fact that Nebula got it, that means Nebula went and kicked some Bucky butt.
I need a show based on that. I need that show.
guys. You know he's got an adamantium arm now. All right, he ditched the
Bro,
vibranium.
chill.
He
He ain't got
upgraded.
no adamantium,
He
man.
ditched
Come
it
on.
and he upgraded. He's like, yeah, no problem. Here you go. He just handed it to him. It was in a case, and he's like, you can just take it if you want.
All I gotta say is Rocket better use that. That's a solid load of vibranium that this guy has his hands on now.
Is it the
You know what I'm
vibranium
saying?
one? Because it's not the one with the star on it, right? So
No,
it's,
No, that one got
vibranium.
blown
No,
off.
yeah.
That one got blown off in
oh
Civil
right,
War.
right, right.
It's his new one.
Poor
Interesting.
guy.
I do find it interesting that the humor in this seemed silly. I haven't read anything on this, so I don't know any outside opinions based on what you guys are saying, but that's
No, this is purely all my first reaction to it. Like I didn't
Yeah.
like really go on the internet
No.
and see what other people thought.
Well, and also I do want to say certain characters can pull off certain genres, especially this level of comedy, better than others. I think the Guardians can pull off comedy better than Thor, just because Thor is more about action than Guardians, and Guardians has proven to be more comedic than Thor.
Speaking,
But
sorry,
is it comedic or like lack of common sense? That's kind of like where I feel like it is.
Is there a difference?
yes.
Yeah, I
Here-
think there is.
Here-
Like
here's
for me, I do not like Will Ferrell's comedy, like his like
Mm.
Yeah, I
Slap
didn't
the
like
Panther?
Elf.
or whatever. Like that's the
Which,
stuff
funny
that
enough,
bothers me.
That's
Yeah,
my shirt.
that's no. That's a D level movie. That's an F level movie.
This plays one of my favorite Christmas movies.
No,
you don't like
What were you
Elf?
gonna say, Greg?
the Elf is solid. I'll give Elf a rewatch every year.
Oh yeah, me too.
I just think here's the difference. Here's the difference because I assume that the conversation would be, you know, if this is funny, not Guardians, is it whatever. This feels very Guardians to me though. This felt every bit like it was who the characters were with an expansion for Mantis, and it called back to a lot of things that we have seen happen that involve Guardians characters. The difference with Thor is the character that they gave us with Thor in the first two movies, they completely revamped. And what made Thor successful was adding in those elements and then exploring his grief through all these other things that we saw in Love and Thunder. But, and I had mentioned this, an article came out earlier in the week. Chris Hemsworth wants to come back as Thor, but he wants to do things differently. He doesn't want to be the same character that he's been portraying. He wants to play a role, but be different than the funny comedic Thor. He wants to get back to a different type of Thor. And for me, that like just adds, you know, if Thor shows up in a different movie, even look at Infinity War and Endgame. does that Thor feel like the same Thor that we saw in Love and Thunder?
No, I don't
Infinity War? No, absolutely not. I love the Infinity War Thor. That's probably my favorite.
But did the Love and Thunder feel like a natural progression to what we saw previous to that, which was the Endgame Thor?
To pick up from Endgame Thor a little bit, I mean, you look at
Yeah.
what he was dealing with emotionally and mentally. The way he was behaving is someone that literally described the way he was, where he wants to keep people at arm's length, and you know, he still wants attention and to be around people, but he doesn't want to connect with people because he'll be hurt. So how do you do that? You act like a tremendous goofball at all times, like you don't have a worry in the world. You're, you look at like a lot of people that go through that stuff, like even like someone like Robin Williams in real life, brilliant, hilarious. Never would have thought he was going through that stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
So you look at, I think it projected well as a good progression of his character in Love and Thunder from Endgame.
Which I don't disagree. They took that a step further. But then you look at like the tone of each of these pieces and like how outrageous a lot of the comedy was in Love and Thunder, and in Guardians, I didn't necessarily feel this was outrageous. This kind of felt like just who they were, but the Love and Thunder comparison is it just felt like it was kind of magnified to a degree that wasn't really necessary and will feel very much like as a one-off. But this
Guardians
did not
2 is
feel
pretty wacky. It's got some wacky moments in there.
true. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really think this. What were you guys' expectation going into this? That is one thing that I'm curious to see what people have said.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything like, I didn't expect them to even further the story or give us any new reveals or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just either you like it or you don't. And like,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's that heartbreaking to disagree on it. Like, I mean,
For sure.
it's not like it's like you better like this thing. Like, you need to like this. You better hate this. Like, I think if we lean either way, it's just a matter of preference.
Interesting. Moving forward with these special presentations, though, if they do something along these lines to where we're not getting Disney Plus level shows that are furthering like side characters, if they do something like this, does it really just depend on the character? Like, I don't know how many people have Drax and Mantis at the top of their list of their favorite MCU characters. I'm sure there are people who have them at some point for whatever reason. But is it if they were to have focused on Star-Lord, or if they were to focus on Gamora somewhere else, or maybe just not even the Guardians period, this was someone else's holiday special, would it have been better?
You know
Or
what would have been
preferred?
nice? Those two had like some little like connection in Guardians 2, right? And we don't really we only heard like little tidbits about their past, like throughout the rest of the other movies, especially the story with Drax's family. Like, anything connecting them even more than what they did in the second one, the second movie with their conversation, would have probably been a good thing to play at here. Especially because Dave Bautista's done after Guardians 3. Like, he's he's probably kicking the bucket. Like,
That's fine.
Just even for me, honestly, after the holiday special, I had a little bit more of like a deeper appreciation for Mantis. Like I just liked her character just a little bit more after the holiday special. Like Drax, I already liked Drax, but yeah, Mantis, I liked more after it.
I will say they did showcase Mantis, like as an actual like combatant, like the way she took on the police officers. That I liked because you got to showcase somebody. Because previously I was like, dude, Mantis literally just walks up to the battlefield and just go to sleep. Like, you know, what else is she gonna do there?
She was doing that in Endgame. She's in the background doing a little bit of that. Which,
right. But like seeing her
nice
kind of pull up some acrobatics and you know some of that stuff, you know, that's the stuff that I like. But like when they're on the plane coming back or on on the Bowie ship, I think it was called, and then like he's an actor. She's like, "Ugh," like, bro, really? Like to me, that feels so forced. Like, I don't know if somebody's watching this video and they're like, he's a Funko collector, ugh, like, bro, how forced is that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, actor could be something different out in space. Like I don't know what reference I'm missing there as to why they don't like actors. But
Right, and like when did they ever discuss that acting was the thing? Like I'm confused.
No,
Just like subtle things like that. Subtle things like that, it kind of bothers me. Like in terms of like, I can tell they were trying to do it for humor purposes, and it just didn't work. At least for me.
me neither.
I really would have liked to have seen the show center around Rocket instead of Peter. I love Rocket, just the character. You know, we got to see Rocket, more of Rocket in Guardians 2, and he really had a character arc in that in the sequel. But I think he will continue to have that character arc in the third one. And I just love the character, and I really would have loved to have seen maybe Peter expose what Christmas is to Rocket, because he's not from Earth. Obviously, there's not talking raccoons in on Earth. So
I don't know, man. You stay out late enough, you start
Yeah.
hearing some stuff.
yeah. But yeah, I really would have liked to have seen more Rocket in this show.
For sure. One thing that we do want to touch on is the purchase of Nowhere from the Collector. What'd you guys think of that?
Is the collector alive though? Like I've
He's
seen
alive.
some breakdowns. They
He's
said that,
alive?
but like,
I think that
Yeah, we saw a ship
I
at the end in the season
didn't
finale
catch
of
that.
Loki.
I
right,
didn't
right.
catch
But
that
like,
he was alive.
did we see him? Like,
I
Oh,
mean,
oh,
a physical body. I don't know if they wanted to bring him back for that, but I'm pretty sure that I will say 99% he's alive
yeah.
and he survived.
Unless there's a new collector claiming that name.
Maybe.
I thought it was like the collector
I
got
thought he
bodied.
was dead.
The Celestials take ownership, like the government, and then they buy the head of Nowhere from Arishem the Judge.
I don't know if he needs currency.
I mean,
I think he just takes what he wants.
there's some reports on what James Gunn said that they're still alive, but then take that with a grain of salt. I'm going to assume that he was still alive, and I'm also going to assume that they just really don't have much left for him. So what's the point of bringing him back on and paying him the money that they most likely would have to pay? What, a 3-time repeat character? I mean, I think that was probably a cost-saving thing and just imply that he's still around, but find that the Guardians have possession of Nowhere. Is that significant at all for you guys?
It just feels like a base, like a home base, like their Avengers Tower kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, or maybe trying to like use that as like a safe space for like other people in the galaxy that kind of feel like outcast or feel like how the Guardians felt in the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
I could see them using it as like that or something, because they were kind of like building the town or rebuilding the town almost.
Do we think that the new Guardians of the Galaxy will come from Nowhere?
Well, what's
wouldn't be
your new
surprised.
Guardians roster look like?
I ain't got a clue. I mean, there's thoughts in my mind of what it could look like, but I mean, the thought of Guardians 4 is, I mean, like 2040. So, and so many characters can be introduced by then.
Plus, no James Gunn. I wonder
Yeah.
if they sunset Guardians. I would be
Can't
okay
a
if they
whole
did.
different squad, whole different type of movie.
Yeah.
It won't even call. I don't even think it'd be called Guardians 4.
No.
Sunset those boys.
Yeah. I think that they're done. I think they're done. What else did you guys see this week? Anything newsworthy? Anything that you guys wanted to talk about? Get some thoughts on? Any articles? Something you rewatched? Maybe something that was interesting?
I went back and finished Supergirl.
Oh wow.
Bro, let me just tell you.
That's commitment.
I had like this commitment where no matter how bad a show is, I gotta finish through it. Man, bro, the wasted hours have been so real, dude. Dude, the CW just has not aged whatsoever, bro. Has not aged well whatsoever. That's all I gotta say.
Did you like Arrow?
I did, and like I finished that all the way through. You know, I had its peaks and stuff, but I think Arrow fell off right at the right time. But like these other shows that have continued and trying to carry that mantle, oh, dude, it's just like it's kind of like that Walking Dead thing that we talked about. Like they're just trying to drag it out for so long, and then you diminish script value and character development and everything. And man,
Drags.
like to not even lie to you guys, in the finale, there was this boss battle, and one of the bosses were about to fight one of the sidekicks, and he like swipes to attack her. She takes a step back and says, "No touching without consent." In the middle of a fight, bro. I'm like, first of all, that's an alien. Like it was the
Real
parasite.
time.
I was like,
in the-
what is
what
this?
kind of Marvel writing was that? Like,
No, bro. That's not even Marvel writing, bro. I don't think so, man.
That's
And
what people call Marvel writing, though. Like, whenever
I
you
know.
see people making fun of Marvel, that's exactly what they think everything sounds like.
Bro, I had literally almost stopped and recorded a TikTok reaction to it because I was so upset, dude. That had to go through like 3 stages of writing reviews for them to be like, yeah, we need to put that line in there. Man, bro.
Sometimes
But-
you gotta lean into it. I don't know.
It's all over with. Now I gotta go ahead and bounce onto Batwoman. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh
Interesting.
no!
I'm trying to clear out all the CW shows. So
Oh boy! I wish
Hopefully-
you luck.
Hopefully Flashpoint doesn't hurt you on all that time watch. Did you guys see the reports that came out about Namor, Universal, the rights, and apparently that he is in the same boat as Hulk, and he cannot have his own solo movie?
See, I knew that they had them before, but I thought they resolved that. I thought Namor reverted.
Yeah, I mean it's hot. I haven't gone through and dug in, but it's like every single thing that I see on Instagram or TikTok is like alarm. Namor's not getting a solo movie, and I'm like, man, I thought that was good to go next year, 2023.
What would they even do that wouldn't, like, if he gets into an adventure, Wakanda's gonna get involved. Like, why wouldn't it just be his next involvement in the next thing, anyways?
I don't know. That's kind of what we thought last time we were doing our breakdown or review of Wakanda Forever. Like him having a solo movie, it feels. I don't know. I mean,
Like, it's not like I wouldn't watch it, but
right.
like, what is there to say?
I don't know. That one's interesting. But we have our upcoming movies, Marvel and DC 2023 movies. We're going to get a little preview out here, and we're going to say if it's going to be a hit or if it's going to be a miss. Isaac, you're going to start us off. Craven, coming out October 6th, 2023. Do you think it's going to be a hit or a miss?
I feel like for the general audience, it's going to be a miss, just because of Sony's reputation with like the Marvel movies in the past. But I feel like for like the comic fans, or as long as it's good, I feel like it'll be a hit for like the comic fans. But for the general audience, I feel like it'll probably be a miss. I feel like it's gonna be like one of those like sleeper movies next year.
No Morbius 2.0?
I was about to say
No.
Morbid time.
I hope not.
Harry, I know you have an opinion on this one. This is affecting potentially your Venomverse.
Man, no, I don't know much about the character just because I'm not really a comic book reader, and I'll pretty much watch any superhero movie. I'm probably in the minority in saying that I didn't really mind Morbius. I mean, it was a good action movie, but I know there are, comic book fans that really hate the movie just because it didn't really follow the comics, and yeah, and I understand that because I didn't grow up with comics. I just like movies. So as far as Craven, You know, hit or miss. I think with me, I think it'll be a hit just because I'm pretty much like any movie. Of course, then there's, She-Hulk, but we will, then there's that. No, it'll be a hit for me, but as far as the people that really love the actual characters, it will probably um, be a miss for them. So
Listen, if they don't have Spider-Man, anything that Sony has their hands on that does not involve Spider-Man that is in full control of Marvel Studios is a big old miss for me.
Same. I just so much of this does not work without Spider-Man. Like there's scenes that will probably be cool for these movies that they have intended, like for their stories and their origins, but that's just supposed to be a small portion of the rest of what you have to deal with a story with Spider-Man. Like who else would they fight? Like he's just born. All these people are just his rose gallery.
Yeah.
Sinister Six with no Spider-Man.
That's
Jason
pure
Todd.
Sinister Zero. There's nobody to be sinister for.
They need to have their own Spider-Man. They need to bring back Andrew Garfield and make him the one that's got to deal with all these people. Because otherwise, none of this makes any sense to me. The Madam Web movie better have some Spider-Man, like a Spider-Man, something. Bring in a new guy. What does it matter? We've already opened up the can of worms. You could make as many different Spider-Men as you want.
You know what's interesting, and I thought about this. You know how they can still tell the story of T'Challa with Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa's son, right? You can still have those T'Challa characters. I'm surprised that we haven't seen, like, if you could bring in a Miles Morales and tell these same stories with these other characters and make it live action and just keep it different and just put your own little twist on them, I would be interested to see how they would do it. But I just, to that point, I need a Spider-Man. Even if it's Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, get him out. But Andrew Garfield, if he could fit this role and they could just do some sort of reboot or something with him, I'm not sure, but I don't know.
They could just play it off like his universe never ended, just kept going. All these people have been popping up. They're pretty stretched out thin in different parts of the world. He was in New York. Venom took place in San Francisco. I think Kraven is taking place in another country. So, I mean, it's not too far-fetched to say, hey, you've been waiting for Amazing Spider-Man 3. It's actually Amazing Spider-Man Sinister Six or something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Alice, you got a miss or hit on this?
I'm like mid, hashtag mid, bro. I think it's not gonna be, blown away. I can't really think. Like I was actually pretty excited for Kraven just because I like what's his name, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I like him as an actor, but this entire time I totally forgot that this is not gonna be, well, from what we know, he's not gonna be going against Spider-Man. So it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think you have to write a really phenomenal story for it to work, where you have a villain that does not have a hero to go against, like the Joker, phenomenal movie. Except maybe Harry might not agree, but you don't need Batman in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if they can do that for Kraven, then I'm all down for it. But I don't know if Sony could do that.
Sony is the WB of Marvel.
100%. Speaking of WB, we have Aquaman Lost Kingdom coming out December 25th, 2023.
Lobo.
Yeah. This makes this movie even tougher with the rumors of, those videos of Jason Momoa getting some news that he can't share with us, these Lobo clips. Was it Boss Logic or someone who made that poster of him as Lobo? I think it was him. I could be wrong. But this movie, I didn't really have much desire to see it after Aquaman 1. Like thinking that there'd be a sequel. I was like, okay, well, sure. But how do you get excited for this movie? And if you are excited for this movie, Just let me know what I need to do.
Because this comes out before Shazam.
I don't have them in order. No, Shazam comes out in March.
Okay.
No. This is not in date order. This is just
Sorry. I thought that's what you were doing, and I was like, how
No.
did that manage?
skip to the end of the
come
year.
out?
We're done.
Forget about it.
All right. Here's my question: hit or miss, and does it reach the $1 billion mark? Like Aquaman
Oh my
1?
god, not even 500 mil.
Ooh.
Bro,
That's
it's
fake.
been 5-6 years since the last one, dude. It's like,
You got to consider the Amber Heard stuff.
yeah, there's just a lot of things that I feel like this movie doesn't have going for it, right? Especially considering, you know, the DCU now has their new 10-year plan. I highly doubt this is going to be included in it. And if it is, all right, great. We'll get an Aquaman 3. Let's just say, you know, devil's advocate, we get an Aquaman 3. When is that going to happen? And why do we need to see Aquaman for a third time when it's taken us 6 years to see him for the second time? Next.
It'll be all right.
Okay, so somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between. Okay.
I just don't like it. It's. I guess it's not even to the movie's fault. It's the company's fault. Like, it's a mess. We don't know what to be excited about.
Yeah.
We don't know what to be excited about in the sense of like how in the world are they going to explain how this still exists, and how are they going to explain where we're going after this? The past and the future is very blurred. It's a troubling relationship we have.
Let me ask you this: with Black Adam's success of whatever you want to call it success as, does that help this movie in any way? Be like, okay, well, they did that with Black Adam. Maybe this can be another link in the chain that they're trying to put together.
No, I'm pretty sure Black Adam is considered a flop.
It only helps if the end game goal is achieved. If a universe is actually created, but if it's just another movie and the whole universe flops, just like every other universe does that they make, then Black Adam will go down as, you know, just exactly what it is, a flop. So.
They
See, but
haven't
it's
made their
crazy
money
because,
back.
like, Black Adam was DC's highest opening weekend, 67 million. Bro, Marvel be doing 67 million in pre ticket sales in 30 seconds, bro. Like, it's just, it comes down to DC cannot fill the seats. I've never been to a DC movie where the premiere night it is completely sold out. They just can't do it. I don't care who's the character or who's the actor behind that character. They can't do it.
Besides maybe Superman. Can we compromise on that? Henry Cavill Superman.
It's
Harry,
tough
when
because of the company.
when Man of Steel 2 comes out and I get my tickets, I'm gonna send you a panoramic view of the theater. All right?
Okay.
We'll see.
In 10 years, you can send me that.
This guy
10.
said-
That's hopeful, man.
Harry, when I take my grandsons to go see Man of Steel 2, I'll let you know.
No, it's embarrassing because like all of us really love DC, like legitimately, like we all really like DC, and I don't really want to come off as all of us just roasting them, but it's bad business. It's bad business decisions by the people running these movies, and it could have all just been so simple.
Mhm.
If they just had some patience. They were trying to like to the point where the theaters were empty. People were pretty excited about Batman vs Superman. People
Yeah.
went to the theater. That theater was packed at least. That was probably maybe the last time I saw a theater packed for a movie, and that's where everything went downhill for a lot of people. The Ultimate Edition, I like the Ultimate Edition, but for a lot of people, the theatrical cut was enough, and they're not coming back to that.
100%. Isaac, what do you got? Hit or miss on this?
I want it to be a hit just because I like the first one and I want to be excited for the second one, even though I don't really know anything about this next one. And just because it's DC, I want it to also. But also because it's DC, I feel like it's probably going to be a miss. Also, especially since it's coming out at the end of the year.
I'm going to flip it right back to you. Blue Beetle, August 18th, 2023. New character, same film franchise.
I feel like it's gonna be pretty similar to Craven. How it's gonna like what I said about Craven. How it's gonna be probably a miss for the general audience, but it's probably gonna be a hit like for the comic book fans because it's gonna be a new hero that we don't really know much or not a lot of people know a lot about. But also, DC's gonna figure a way how to get those people drawn in to go see it at the same time too.
Harry.
This is gonna be such a flop.
Bro, don't do me like that. Come on, Harry.
Okay, I will give it this. So there has been photos of the suit leaked online. The suit looks dope. I will give it that. But I mean, Blue Beetle. Come on, man. I mean, the name sounds.
Hey, we had an
dumb.
Ant-Man. We have an Ant-Man.
Okay,
In his third
That's
movie.
true, touche. But come on. I mean, I mean, I'm gonna go see the movie. I mean, I'll pretty much go see any movie, but I can't see me liking it. But like Isaac said, for the general audience, they probably won't like it, just because based on the name. I mean, my grandfather doesn't like, he's commented on that just by the name. We've kind of talked about it. He doesn't like the character just based on his name. He said, "Oh, that's stupid," just his name. So it's probably going to be a miss for that reason. But as far as comic book fans, they are going to look more in depth as far as how WB treat the actual character rather than obviously his name because that's his name. So yeah, I think it'll be a hit and miss.
Fabian, you had something.
No, I really don't know how this ended up on the priority list. Like, no hate to the Blue Beetle because I thought it looked from the set footage or footage, whatever set photos, the suit looked incredible. I think this could make money. I think it could be a hit, but for a lot of people, again, it goes back to the company. Where does this squeeze in? Is this going to be an after Flashpoint? Did they already consider
After.
the events of that movie for this movie, or where can they even possess the ability to consider the events of another movie before another movie? Like, that's just the stuff that worries me about it. And then I actually agree the Blue Beetle name is just very much difficult to market. You look at a lot of these characters and there's like this unwillingness to make fun of the titles that they have, because you look at Marvel and you're like, they make fun of Ant-Man, Spider-Man, like that's ridiculous. Like, why would we parade around? They made fun of Cap for wearing a Star-Spangled outfit. Like, why are you dressed up like a superhero? What does that make sense? Because it's people in reality getting these powers, whereas in DC it's the opposite. It's like they have them to start, but they're very serious. Like, you look at how silly they are. They fit very perfectly in the Super Friends aesthetic, right? Like, that's what made them really popular, was the Super Friends era. Aquaman is useless. And then you add this extra layer of depth of like, hey, these people actually go through stuff. And then you go through that and they're in comics and cartoons and stuff. And it seems like it would be a good fit for live action. but I feel like there's just like the same layer of an obstacle that anime goes through to get a live action adaptation correct. Whereas if it doesn't fit real world enough and this doesn't work in the real world, you're struggling to grasp and connect your audience to it.
Yeah.
Whereas in animation, you can do whatever you want. Nothing really entirely has to make sense. Like Batman and Superman could be equals in that playing field.
True story.
So that's the type of stuff that I feel like plagues this movie, is that he's a lesser known character. The name kind of sucks. He's just not up there for people that want to see. Like the Flash is barely going to be on one movie, and we're already working on a Blue Beetle. Like,
yeah. Now this is like what we talk about when from a Marvel standpoint. When I say more is more with Marvel, they've established, and it's just get eyes on new things, right? And then I know that they're gonna the status quo is gonna be there. The core storyline is always gonna happen. We get an Avengers level movie. Let's move on to the next saga. With this is where I don't feel that more is more, and they don't have a core. And Blue Beetle is not going to be a core character like a Batman or Superman. Like, this is a character that needs to be added to an established universe. Now, I wish that they had James Gunn. I wish that James Gunn and Peter Safran were kind of already a part of everything in the inception of this character in this movie. I would like to see this down. I want this to be pushed back, like pushed way back, reshoots, all that kind of stuff. Like, give it the once over and then add this back into their 10-year plan. It might be already, but I think this will be a miss. Although it should be a hit. I think this should be a hit, but I ultimately think it'll be a miss.
Random hot take for whatever their 10-year plan is. Do not make any shows related to the movies you got going on. Just stick to your movies for now. Get your groundwork. Do not make like 20 Peacemakers to sprinkle in along with the rest of your stuff, because you're gonna go way overboard.
Yeah.
So
Don't try and be.
I don't know if you guys agree with that. Yeah, exactly. Don't try and do it again. Don't try and be like Marvel again.
Yeah, don't try and compete.
Mr. Jalapeno, you got a hit or miss on this?
Bro, I'm a one-man army out here. It's going to be a hit for me. I don't mind Blue Beetle, the name. Bro, is literally, there's an alien scarab that attaches to him, and it happens to be blue. That's where the name comes from. That's what I see. But this is, for me, where I disagree with you. More is more. Because I don't need to see another storyline with Superman, Batman. Well, I do want to. But, bro, like I just said, it's been 6 years since the last Aquaman. Give me the Blue Beetles. Give me the Lobos. Give me the Zatannas, bro. Give me the Teen Titans. Like, that's where I think DC just needs to make more is more. Because Marvel, they already have the whole setup. And I'd rather them make less movies or less properties, but better properties. Whereas I know DC's not gonna make better. They're just gonna they just trying to put out quantity, bro. Give me more quantity. That's it.
It's interesting though, if it depends on the point. Because if it's supposed to be a connected cinematic universe, that's where I feel like you run into trouble. And you want to talk about loose ends, you're gonna have 20, 30 loose ends that you're hoping that you get a flashpoint to kind of just erase some of those things.
Right. But like I'm seeing Blue Beetle, to be quite honest, as like I thought this was gonna be kind of similar to the is it Batgirl? No, Batgirl. The Batgirl movie that got canceled. I thought this was gonna be like some one-off Elseworld special presentation kind of thing where it has no connection, right? Like we got the Batman with Robert Pattinson, phenomenal movie, has no connection to this. If they were to spin off and do a Clayface, Mr. Freeze, and those guys in that universe, dude, go ahead and do that.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if it's a one-off, then that just goes back to like what they need to figure out their properties and like define and push things into certain categories and make it very clear.
Because I don't mind, like for me personally, if we get Blue Beetle in this and then we never see him again, crossing over with anybody else, I'm cool with it. That's when they try to force the crossover. And it's like, dude, you had a good thing going just right here. Like, I love Batman vs Superman, but they didn't have to force in Wonder Woman, Doomsday, The Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman all in one movie.
Yeah.
Take time to do that.
Sure. A disconnected solo film, throw it out there, and no expectations. It's good. However, this movie definitely has expectations and is supposed to be connected. However, those coming out of Black Adam would be like, oh, what's Shazam have to do with anything? March 17, 2023, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Harry. Short and sweet. Hit or miss.
So I think it'll be a hit, but the only thing I have against this movie is Zachary Levi. His portrayal of the actual Shazam character, he overdoes the childlike personality of Billy Batson, and the actual Billy Batson character, or the character that actually personifies Billy Batson. He's just like normal. He's a normal kid. But Zachary Levi, like I said, he goes like 2.0, and if that makes sense. So I am looking forward to this movie just because, Shazam and Black Adam are kind of correlated with each other, just because, the wizard, what's his name?
Solomon.
Yeah. And they kind of got their powers from the same place. So I'm really hoping that, if The Rock's ego, is worthy of getting out of the way, I hope The Rock makes an appearance.
The Rock literally chose Henry Cavill with no future over anything to do with Shazam. He like hardest worker in the room. This guy's not even allowed in the room. Like he wanted nothing to do with Shazam, which speaks volumes to me. Like volumes that you just can't go there. I don't know. I think Black Adam in my mind makes this worse than I already thought it would be.
Yeah, it's going to be a miss. Yeah, I think the action will be good. I think the CGI will be great, but
Funkos look great.
Yeah, then there's
Funkos
that.
look on point.
But as far as storyline purposes and the longevity aspect, it's going to be a miss.
They're trying their best, man.
Well, they're changing the hierarchy.
This, I'm gonna bring it up again. This was a bad case of more is more. I think we got too much Shazam. The Shazam family, I don't believe, should have been introduced in the first one. I don't know where. I think they backed themselves into a corner with this movie, and hopefully they can rewrite it with this. Maybe not.
Let's go.
June 23rd, The Flash. Real quick, because we got Marvel coming up here. Round robin, baby. Hit or miss?
It's a one-off hit, bro.
I want to say it's going to be a hit.
I feel like because of the confusion and the development hell that it went through, I feel like it's probably going to be a miss.
Ooh.
Because Ezra Miller is probably going to be a miss.
That too.
That's a fact. He's
Those are
basically
possible.
playing a real-life Reverse Flash. Hey, all I know is
You're
it's
not
got to be a
wrong.
hit. It's got to be a hit because the Flash is my baby, bro. And I will support this like Greg supports She-Hulk till I die, bro. Let's go.
Bro, 9 seasons of his television program went about
Oh,
before this movie went into theaters.
I got one. I got one
It was
more season to
announced in
finish.
season 1. Good.
Good. So what do we got? We have hit. Harry, what'd you say?
You got a hit from me.
I said miss.
So hit, miss. Isaac,
Miss.
2 misses and a hit. Fabian.
Hit.
Oh, do I get to be the tiebreaker?
Come on, Greg.
This is
Throw,
good.
dude. You already know.
Listen,
You already
man.
know how we used to run this back in the days.
on one hand, you have a character who has been pushed aside for years. On the other hand, you have a character that has the opportunity to right a lot of wrongs in this movie, both outside of the real world or outside of the movie and in the real world and obviously in the movie. I am going to say this will be a hit.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
I think it'll be a hit because of the concept. I think it'll be a hit because of the story that they can tell. And if done right, the Flash and a Speedster can visually look better.
I'll tell you why else.
There it is.
This guy.
That young Keaton bat.
Bro, what is that young Keaton bat going to do with the Flash? Okay. Let me tell you. He's going to jump on his back and be like, go.
Hey, man. That's the GOAT right there. You leave him alone.
I mean, that has some fan service in there too. It's going to satisfy. I think it'll satisfy fans in a lot of different ways. So we'll see how they do it. Obviously, pre-screenings for those that have heard, it got really good feedback on this movie. So we'll see. This movie, who knows? July 28th, 2023, The Marvels. This movie should be a hit. But I think, especially with current Marvel MCU climate, this is going to ultimately end up being a mess for majority of people.
I want it to be a hit. I do.
Yeah.
You know, I love Miss Marvel. I loved her introduction into the MCU. I love the show. I love the representation of her and that culture. I want to see more of Monica Rambeau. I want to see that storyline between her and Carol Danvers. And I'm really, I really do hope it's a hit. I do, genuinely.
I agree. I hope it's a hit. I don't know how it's going to be walking into it, but here's what I need. I need Carol Danvers to develop some personality. I need Miss Marvel to showcase some good powers that make me think that she can actually run with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I need Monica and Captain Marvel to do a toe-to-toe fight. Those three things, that's going to put it on the map for me. But what's the villain going to be about this movie? I actually have no clue about what this movie's going to be about.
The Kree again?
I thought it was continuing the Kree Skrull War because I thought Secret Invasion was supposed to tee up the conflict in this, but it takes place right after Miss Marvel, and they have to find each other. Kamala's flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this is going to tie into the overarching King Dynasty Secret Wars. Because I wonder what's going to happen at the end of this with Kamala, if she's going to escape with the Bengal or if she gets captured. That's my big question. I don't know.
I'm prepared for the internet to declare this to be the worst movie in all of existence, simply because it's got 3 female leads.
Yeah.
2 of them not being
Greg, I need you to-
bread and butter.
Yeah.
Splice that clip right there. We're gonna need to save that.
Listen, dude.
I looked up the villains. It's going to be more Kree villains for the Marvels. So it is going to be Kree.
I'm okay with
what
that.
is it to say?
I want that story to kind of be the Carol Danvers part of that story to kind of wrap up in this movie personally, or they really expand it and blow it up.
Have to show some of what she's been doing out there.
Getting haircuts.
She kind of just she just dipped
Sorry.
after
Endgame reference.
after Infinity
that.
War or a beginning of Endgame, and she's really just been a hologram in most situations. So,
Which makes me hope that wherever Kamala got sent to is something wild is going on, and she's I have no clue how to handle this. This is what you've been doing. If they get the explanation, I feel like it'll be through Kamala's eyes.
Yeah, you're just gonna see her run away on lily pads. Like, oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
Bro, I'd do the same thing, man. You got Ronin 2.0 swinging a hammer in the back of my head. For the sake
Yes,
of time, for the sake of time, let's get to something here that's worth a minute or two. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, February 17th.
Hit.
I feel like this is a guaranteed hit.
Yeah.
Ooh, a guarantee, an Isaac certified guarantee.
Just because you have Ant-Man coming back in another movie, you have Kang, who we're going to get more of Kang, which people are starting to get excited for, and most likely MODOK. So
The MODOK pieces, they've been pretty tight-lipped on that. Unless you guys know some stuff about it.
Is it confirmed that Jim Carrey is going to be MODOK? Because or is that just, clickbait?
I thought he was
I don't
ready
know.
to retire. I don't know.
Straight clickbait, bro.
I feel
Hopefully,
like it's going to be one of those things where we're not going to know until it comes out.
bro. I you know what I've said about MODOK? I don't want to see a big old floating Jim Carrey head. I mean, just give me that metallic look that you showed me in that Funko.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
But
can't remember. Was it something that we sent, or is it? I saw it on TikTok somewhere. Somebody came with a theory that MODOK could possibly be what's his name?
Aaron
Yellow
Cross?
Jacket.
Cross, yeah.
Yeah, just because he got
That's
stuck
fine.
in the quantum realm at the end of the first.
Still-
I'd be okay with that.
I don't need to see this big old round face. This is gonna remind me of George Lopez from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, dude. I don't need that. I don't need to see that.
That is one of my most loved villains purely just because he is hideous. When I saw they made a figure of him, a Marvel Legend, I couldn't resist. Like I was just like, this thing is too hideous. It just catches your eye.
Yeah,
Very
he's-
memorable.
He's definitely up there, nasty stuff. But
Guys, I'm gonna go back and unlock my take back that I had with saying there were two kings. I'm back on my multiple King Dynasty, dude. Council of Kings. I actually think, looking at this a lot more, I'm opening the possibility for imprisonment in the quantum realm, and we're gonna see multiple kings in this movie.
no.
Yes.
I feel like we're gonna see two. I feel like we'll see the main one the whole movie, and at the end we'll the Ant-Man will probably think that he got rid of King or something. Then you'll see the next one come up.
Right.
or
No one's
something.
stopping King but King.
Yep.
Nah.
No one's stopping King but King. We have to get multiple kings. At least probably 3 or 4.
Bro, if this was Kang's movie, it'd be called Kang Man and Quantumania.
Nah,
There's
they're
only gonna be one. There's only one.
So here's my question on this movie. If he is imprisoned in the quantum realm, who put him there? The only one who could put him there is King. Another
No,
King
bro.
is the only one that could.
He stumbled across that, dude. That was
Well,
a
wouldn't
science experiment gone wrong. He straight bannered himself with that gamma radiation, except they went quantum style.
it have been He Who Remains that would have imprisoned him there? Because
I
didn't he say he pretty much got all of his variants under control?
think that's what it is. He Who Remains. I'm not saying all kings are equal, but this one is like the bad of the bad, and there's only one place that can contain him, and it's here.
This is gonna for sure be Kang Prime. Like moving forward through Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, the Kang that we get in this will be the number one Kang, I think.
So going off that theory, the Kangs that we've seen in the trailers, do you think that Marvel's kind of hiding the actual Kang that will be Kang?
No, that's him.
What?
To me, that's him. To me, that Kang, that's the guy. That's the GOAT right there.
I mean, are the ones with is like the blue King that we saw in the trailer, and then the Jonathan Majors King the same person?
Yes.
I think that
Yes.
he just took the helmet
I
off.
don't know.
Yeah.
No,
he
we're not
has a
saying he's
helmet.
blue. We're not saying he's just straight up blue.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
there's
he's
a
got
version
like
of
the color of
lights.
the helmet.
He's got lights that come up on there. He's got his own AI system.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like
there's no telling how many Kangs there are. There could be 5.
No.
Even though it looked like the same room from the Comic-Con trailer, I feel like the Comic-Con trailer King and then the King that we got in the public trailer, I feel like those are two different Kings.
I think the biggest thing this movie has going for it, that besides Kang and everything, and it does add to it, is that a lot of people are so indifferent about the first two, but they still like aspects of it, and especially with Paul Rudd. That I think the fact that this movie seems like it's going to have a change of tone for those characters that they have not been like thrown into. They haven't been in a high stakes situation other than Endgame. I think this is gonna what it'll do. That all those elements will make this a hit.
Could Ant-Man comedy soil this movie?
Nah.
I don't feel like we'll get a lot of it in this for some reason.
It's gonna be a little serious, and I already know you got to put Jonathan Majors up there because he's gonna drop the coldest bars. He's gonna have lines like Thanos out here, just saying stuff that the dialogue. I'm so excited to hear this guy.
Interesting. I'm curious to see how much Kang we actually get in this movie. I don't know if it's gonna be a lot.
I'll tell you how much. Only one.
Listen, I want you to go back and watch this when we get at least two. At least. But we know we're getting multiple, hopefully, Spider-Mans, not sure. Across the Spider-Verse, June 2nd, 2023. The animated hit gets a follow-up. I think this is going to be a hit, flat out. No questions asked. Soundtrack will be on point, hopefully, again. Characters will be great. I'm just curious to see where they set him up for a future appearance.
I'm giving the same thing as Ant-Man. I think this will be another guaranteed hit just because of how big the first one was.
Yeah, I went to go see the first one. I liked it, so I'm really curious to see what this one is. So I think this will be a hit too.
I remember it's definitely going to be a hit because for me, the first one, still in my eyes, the best Spider-Man movie ever made. For me, I remember going to see this movie, and I was asking people if they wanted to go see it, and like a lot of the consensus for people I knew, at least, was that this was going to be a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
That it was just like a one-off, like not gonna be much of anything, like just a fun little like kid adventure. And I went to go see it with my wife like pretty late in the day, and hardly anyone was in the theater. And it was premiere day, like it was the day the movie came out, and we were both blown away. Like I was shedding tears for some of those scenes. Like it hit heavy, and then the animation was beautiful. If they could carry even an ounce of that into this movie, it's not even a question. It's gonna be a hit.
It had one of the coldest Stan Lee cameos of all time. I remember watching that, and that was after he passed, I think. Or had he not passed?
So.
I think he had already passed. I don't know. I have to fact check that. But I remember him saying, he's like, how do you know it's going to fit? And he's like, oh, it always fits. Like, just put that mask on, bro. You're ready. I was like, dude, I'm going to go buy a mask right now. I was like, watch out, but these streets ain't ready for me in Chicago. You're going to find me on the news real quick.
Yeah, man. This is shape. What do you guys want to see happen with these real quick? Because we're at our 5-minute warning and we have one more left. Where do you want to see across the Spider-Verse go? Like as far as they can take it, or is it kind of like set it up like maybe one more?
I want a post-credit of Miles ending up in the MCU. Like animation style, boom, then he shows up and then now he's here. Live action, baby.
Yeah. Didn't they say that Across the Spider-Verse is going to be a part 1? I thought.
Yes, it's
be
part
Across
1.
the Spider-Verse part 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're probably going to think that Spider-Man 2099 is probably going to be the threat or something, and then by the end of that, we're going to realize that he's kind of like a He Who Remains kind of thing. He's like fighting off something else, and they're going to
I'm
end
excited for 2099.
Yeah. So
Very excited.
The Spider-Verse storyline is pretty insane with what they do
Mm-hmm.
with it. So if they can get some of that into this movie, it'll be pretty lit.
All right. And we're gonna end up with this. The controversial holiday special. Did it actually create excitement for Guardians 3? Did it lessen it? This is James Gunn's final. Well, maybe not, because with that mid-credit scene or post-credit scene for the holiday special, are we going to get another special? Who's going to do it? But Guardians 3, hit or miss? I'm gonna say mine for last. I'm gonna say mine for last.
I feel like because of the gap between them and just I feel like the holiday special will help a little bit, like get the eyes back on the Guardians again. But I feel like it'll be a hit. Not like a huge one, but it'll be a hit.
Obviously, it depends on the storyline that they do. I really want them to explore the backstory of Rocket, because that is kind of a question mark. Ever since Rocket took off his prison suit, you saw his, whatever you want to call it, in his back while they were in the prison like area. So I really want them to dive into how Rocket was made and how he came to be and all that. So I think it'll be a hit. I really want them to address the whole Gamora situation. And I think going back to James Gunn, I think James Gunn is done. He's with DC now. So
Shake my head.
He's joined the Suicide Squad for real.
I know you guys got opinions on this.
I personally feel like this is going to be the best movie of that phase. Like, just in general, the movie. Like the movie itself will be good. I don't know how fans are going to react to it, though. I think the reaction is going to be what decides if this is a hit or not. Because, the humor is hit or miss for a lot of people nowadays with Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting tired of the humor. The James Gunn humor is now pretty much everywhere you go now. The Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker cranked it up to 11. If he has even the slightest bit of freedom to do that again, even more here, he's gonna take it. And I don't know how that's gonna sit with some people. So it's gonna be very much subjective. Like everything's subjective, but I feel like this is gonna be very much up to the preference of, like, do you like James Gunn or not?
Yeah, it's fair. Unless you want me to give my thoughts, or you want to wait?
I want to hear what you guys say real quick.
All right. I personally think that this has the chance. The ceiling on this movie is very, very high. Very high. It could be, we mentioned it, Dave Bautista. We might lose Drax. We don't know where Star-Lord's going to go. What's going on with Gamora? We're getting that backstory with Rocket, hopefully. Mantis has grown for some people to be more likable of a character. Maybe there's a little more investment there. Then you have Nebula. I think if they're still going to have the comedy aspect of it, because I feel like James Gunn can't help himself but to be very much James Gunn. But they have a chance to make people connect with aliens, with things that shouldn't be, that we're not used to seeing on an everyday. And they have the chance to set up new things, especially being kind of the core of the galactic part of the MCU. So I think they have big opportunity here. I think it'll be well done regardless. I assume that I'll like it, but I think that they have a really chance to kind of like turn the jets on, propel the MCU forward, but also close the chapter on a lot of characters that'll probably be moving. I think they'll do it as a good send off. I just hope it's not too overly comedic with certain characters. I think it'll be a hit.
Well said. I think it'll be a hit. I think it'll be Guardians 1, Guardians 3, Guardians 2. That'll be my final ranking. But I will say this movie has a lot of potential to really expand, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially considering the 8-year time jump. They can introduce so many more characters now that they probably wouldn't have been able to introduce back then. Like, Greg, this is where your Silver Surfer cameo could finally pull through. We can get some potential nods to Nova, or maybe some kind of reference to any of the Eternals that are now in space or anything like that. So I think this movie can do what Quantumania is going to do, but for the space portion of the MCU.
Oh, plus, I mean, we're getting Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Big time potential with him. If he's the one that, I don't know how they're going to position him, if he's definitely going to be kind of the main antagonist in this movie. But if he kind of puts down a few of the Guardians, like there's a chance that he could kind of be on the map. Almost similar to kind of how Namor was, but I think a little more villainous.
He's got to put out Drax.
That dude that's playing him is a really good actor. I don't know if you guys ever
Will
watched
Poulter.
Black Mirror.
Bro got swole, dude. He got swole. Bro, him and Jonathan Majors about to go crazy.
I don't know, man. I think, okay, real quick, as our closer. On this list of 2023, which one is going to be the best?
I'm going to have to take Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
I'm going Guardians.
Just say for me, it's a tie between Ant-Man and Guardians, probably.
Yeah, I'm going to go Guardians on this one. Sorry, DC. Flash is there for the 3 spot.
Yep. Flash got the 3 spot no matter what.
Oh, well, I mean, we just talked about Spider-Man too.
Oh,
Across the
damn. So
Spider-Verse.
Flash got 4th spot.
Wow, that's wild.
Well, one thing I don't know why it just clicked with me, but I'm pretty sure I said I think Shazam's gonna miss, but I also was realized too it's sandwiched between Creed 3 and John Wick 4 when Shazam comes out.
Oh,
So
it's
gonna,
over.
like, super
Oh,
miss.
that-
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie is
Wrap.
done.
yeah. I think it comes out like the weekend after Creed 3, and then like the weekend before John Wick.
Yeah, those
That
two
looks-
movies are gonna be.
That looks
weird.
dope.
All I know is I got to watch Creed 3 because that's going to
Nope.
be the prelude to what old boy's about to do to the Avengers.
That's wild. But hey, everyone, we appreciate you watching. Join us next Sunday night, December 4th, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We will be talking about Phase 4 in its entirety, getting some rankings out, hopefully with the 5 of us here, and beating a dead horse with a stick that's that has been used and passed through the internet. But now Phase 4 is officially come to a close. So we'll have all 18 titles there to comb through and discuss and get to the nitty-gritty of the main characters and the villains. So it should be a good one. Hope to see you guys there. And with that, we are out.